Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Soul Talk podcast, where movement meets meaning and where every step is part of your personal journey toward the body, mind, and soul wellness. I'm Marybeth Hrim, and today I want to thank you for showing up just as you are. Whether you're walking, driving, stretching, or simply with your coffee, this space is yours. A pause in the day, a breath, a moment to just reflect. This is week 2 of our Mindset and Movement series. And today's topic is actually kind of personal, maybe even a little vulnerable. It's called about rewriting your movement story. Because so often we talk about fitness or exercise, and what do? We jump into programs and schedules, and we buy all kinds of expensive gear. But what about the stories we actually carry underneath it all? The beliefs that shape how we move or why we don't. And that's what we're unpacking today. But before we dive in, I would love it if you could subscribe to the Soul Talk podcast here on YouTube or on any of the other podcasts that you listen to. And share this with someone who actually could use a fresh, empowering take on movement. And your support actually helps the message that movement is not just physical, it's deeply emotional and it's profoundly human. So let me start with this question. What is your earliest memory of movement? Was it joyful? Was it free? Or was it filled with pressure? Maybe even shame. And for many of us, our movement story is shaped before we even realize that we were even writing it. So maybe you were the kid who loved to dance in the kitchen until someone made fun of you. Or you dreaded gym class because you weren't the fastest or the most coordinated. Or you didn't even have the cool clothes to go with it. Or maybe you perhaps thought that you didn't have the body or the image. Maybe, like me, you were navigating a body that didn't always cooperate with your spirit, facing health challenges that made movement feel more like survival rather than a celebration. And over time, those small moments, those offhanded comments, comparisons, and actual cultural expectations become a narrative. One that sounds like, I'm not athletic. My body isn't built for that. I'm too old. I'm too heavy, too broken to start now. These aren't just passing thoughts. They root themselves in our subconscious. They shape our behavior, our identity, and even our sense of self-worth. So how do we challenge that? How do we begin to reclaim our story? It starts with awareness, bringing the story into the light, naming it. So let's do that right now. Take a moment, ask yourself, what is the story I currently tell myself about movement? You might hear something like, I used to be active, but not anymore. Or I always fail at sticking with it. That's a big one for a lot of people. Or even, why bother? Let the story come up. without judgment. It's not about blame, it's about understanding. So think about that for just a second. Because once we see the story, we can begin to edit it. We can ask, who wrote this story? Is it even mine? Does this narrative reflect who I am now or who I was told to be? Just because a story has been on repeat doesn't make it true. See, here's the beautiful truth. You are the author of your life, and you get to write the next chapter. And let's play with this idea. Imagine your movement story as if it were a chapter in your favorite book, and you're the protagonist. You've been through some things, you've faced internal and external obstacles, but now, something shifts. What happens next? Here's a visualization that I often guide clients through. Picture yourself opening a blank page. No critics, no comparisons, no timeline. Just you and your pen. How would you describe your body? How would you feel as you move through the world? How do you want movement to feel? Empowering, playful, grounding? What's one line that could start your new chapter? Maybe it's, I move to feel alive. My pace is my power. Movement is an act of kindness towards myself. Remember, rewriting your story doesn't mean ignoring the past. It means reclaiming your voice within. So this week, I invite you into a gentle practice. Each morning before any walk, stretch, or workout, say to yourself, this is my movement story, my way. And in a journal, explore these prompts. What story do I currently tell myself about my relationship with movement? Where did this story come from? Where do I want my new story to include emotionally, mentally, and physically? Is it in your heart? And you don't need to rewrite it all at once. Just start with a sentence, a feeling, a moment of grace. Let me share a little bit about my own story, because there was a time I really believed I wasn't strong enough to run. I mean, there was a time when I really couldn't run from my couch to the mailbox. And that body, after surgery, after seasons of doubt, wasn't capable of endurance because people, that's what they told me. You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. That running was for other people. But somewhere deep inside, another voice whispered, what if you tried anyway? And so I did. One slow step, then another. It wasn't about being fast. It was about coming home to myself. And over time, the story shifted from I can't or I shouldn't to I'm discovering. That's the power of rewriting, not erasing what was, but actually transforming what is actually possible. So as we close, I really want you to remember this. You're not too late. You're not behind. You're not broken. You are becoming. Your movement story isn't just about steps and reps. It's about freedom, expression, healing, and you get to decide what that looks like on your terms. And next week, I'll be diving into how movement is medicine, especially for mental health. But until then, keep listening to your body. Be curious, be kind, and never forget you hold that pen. And if this episode spoke to you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or subscribe to my podcast, whatever you listen to. Share it with a friend or leave a review. And if you're journaling or reflecting, tag me. I'd love to witness your story as it unfolds. Until next time, keep moving with intention. I'm Marybeth Hrim.